Hello, 5 Point family. Welcome. We're so excited that you're joining us to talk all things 5 Points. I'm really just here to keep them slightly in line, but hopefully I won't do a good job. And we'll get to all your questions. We'll talk about the show. We've got some clips. We got some games. We got it all. If a friend you know is not watching, text them, tweet them, post them, tag them, make them swipe. Okay. So,
go to their house.
Where do we start? What are we doing first?
I think you have to introduce yourself.
Oh, yeah. Everybody say who you played and what your real name is.
Well, we're gonna kick it off with the ladies. Come on now.
Hey, now. Hey. Oh, yeah. Okay. We'll kick it off with the ladies, and then we have a surprise at the end.
Surprise.
Okay.
Hey, I'm Madison Pettis, and I play Tosh on 5 Points.
What's up, y'all? My name is Spence Moore II, and I play Eric Harper on the
Don't
show.
forget
5
the
Points.
second.
Don't forget the
Two
second.
eyes,
please.
guys. Two eyes.
I'm Ray Cham Jr., also the second, but I just go by Junior. And I play CJ.
I'm Trey Curtis, and I just go by Trey Curtis.
Hey,
I play
now.
Jonathan.
Yeah.
I'm Nathaniel Potvin, and I play Wallace.
I'm Jake Austin Walker, and I play Alex.
That's right.
I'm Carrie, and I'm blessed enough to be producing these guys. I'm Carrie Washington the first. And,
That sounds
Let
so
him know.
sick.
Let him know.
The first.
and we are being joined by the amazing, incredible, phenomenal Hayley Kiyoko. She-
I'm Hayley Kiyoko, and I play Lexi. Thanks for having me.
And Hayley can't be in the room with us because
Technology,
she's on tour. She's
cyber
on tour.
situation.
Yes. Haley's on tour. If you're in New York, see if you could try to see her at Madison Square Garden
Oh,
tomorrow.
nice.
If you can so fancy.
You can get it
So
crazy.
fancy. But she's slumming it with us here today for the moment.
Yeah, the day off. On the day off.
So we'll start with some questions. Thank you guys, everybody who posted questions. We're so excited that you are watching and curious. So Isis Mesa asks, what was your favorite part about the show itself and working on the project? Take it. Somebody take it.
Well,
Nice.
Yes.
that's
Okay.
good.
Yes.
Because
Attaboy.
I feel like my experience was a little different. I had just moved out to LA from Houston, Texas. And my favorite part was honestly the welcoming spirit of all y'all, because it was my first big project and I was nervous,
So
very nervous. And so
Killed it.
He
thank
killed
you.
it.
Thank
We
you.
had the first, like my first scene. It was his first scene.
Very first.
We had it together, and we were just both thrown into that
Yeah,
moment.
yeah.
And he was the nicest guy. It was
And that's
so
how I feel
fun.
working with each and every one of y'all.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that. So that was my absolute favorite part, was meeting everybody.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too. Is like just the cast for me. I mean, just like we had to get a big story done in a certain amount of time, and we had such a sweet and thoughtful cast that helped us really portray the characters to our best extent. I feel like it was amazing. That's like
And being a part of something brand new.
Yeah.
Facebook's Facebook Watch, and being a part of one of their first narratives. That was another really exciting part.
Yeah, I fell in love with the script as soon as I read it. I just thought the writing was so amazing, and I was just super excited to be a part of it. I think our writer, Adam Giadroni, is just incredible. Just like really captured real teenage life. It didn't sugarcoat anything, and the dialogue just felt really real, like how us teenagers actually talk. And I thought it was a really special project as soon as I read it.
Yeah, kind of what like Ray and Jake said. I'm like really family oriented, so the cast was just amazing and very inviting to me. And like now they're like some of my closest friends, so it was like really dope working on this project. Facts.
It's special the connections. What about you, Hayley?
I don't know. You guys cut out for a second, so I don't know if you covered this already. But what I was gonna say is, I feel like this show is really special because you're getting to see all of the different perspectives of each character, and I feel like a lot of times in movies and TV, it really comes from only like a couple characters, and in this case, it's like this one incident and how it affects all these people and what they see and what they went through getting there, and you feel bad for people, you dislike some people, you like people, and so you're getting to understand why you dislike them or why they're maybe acting a certain way and find sympathy and empathy towards them.
I agree. I feel like especially the fact that we live on Facebook, it's like this is a moment where more than anything we need more empathy. We need to be putting ourselves in other people's shoes, and the way we traditionally watch film and television, it makes you feel like only one person matters, right? But in our story, it really like affirms the idea that we all matter, that every single person's experience is valid and worth taking the time to explore. There are no like sidekicks. There's no, you know, everybody's their lead. Yeah.
That's great.
All right, somebody else asked the next one.
What was everyone's favorite episode and why?
This is from Harlan Nunez.
I'll go first. Let me go first. My favorite episode was the last episode, episode 10.
Yeah.
It was one of my favorite days. I spent the entire day, 12 hours with Spence, and it was our first time really hanging out, and we were in this car all day. And it was so incredible to be able to watch his performance and be there and be in this situation. And I fell for him in the sense of like this, it was such an intimate scene, and I was getting emotional thinking about how impactful and emotional the situation is for the show and the characters. And I think everyone watching that episode felt that, because life is precious and life is important, and we don't talk about that often. So that was my favorite episode.
Yeah.
Who wants to follow that?
Nobody.
No.
Nobody wants to follow that.
She killed
Next
it.
question.
Sorry.
Next question.
I'll wrap on
So
that one.
Agatha asks, is it Agatha? Maybe because it has the accent.
Agatha?
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 Agatha.
I would guess that.
Yeah. If I got it wrong, Agatha, I'm sorry. Or Agatha. What legacy do you expect 5 points to leave? Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
I expect 5 points to leave the sense of just knowing that you are enough, and just knowing that you can be who you want to be, and also to just, I guess, just pick people up and not, you know, break people down, make sure everybody is okay, and just to, I guess, give you a peace of mind of just to know that there's people out there who care about you, and people out there who want to see you win and see you succeed. Yeah.
When I hear you, it makes me think of the idea of community. I feel like even when you guys just talk about working with each other, the focus always feels like it's about community. And that, I don't know if that, I think it was in the script, and then because of how much you guys really love each other and love working together, it feels like the theme of what we're talking about, the story we're telling, and also how we're telling it, that we're telling it in a place where community already exists online. And so that idea of you not being alone feels like intrinsic to the value, the meaning of the show.
Yeah, I think our society, like, we always look to judge people. Like, we're always looking for why we're different and why we shouldn't get along. And it's like, why shouldn't we get along? And I think that goes beyond just our show and just what's going on in the world.
Yeah, you never know what someone is actually struggling with in their own lives behind closed doors, and it may seem like someone has like the perfect life from the outside, but they could be struggling with something really serious. And I think we need to all approach everyone with kindness, because you never know what they're going through, and just like saying hi to someone and being nice to them that day like might really help them, and just approach everyone with happiness and kindness.
There's this expression I really love that I try to remember of I try not to compare my insides to other people's outsides, right? Because when you see somebody's outside, it looks like everything's perfect. And so I might be having a hard day and I think like, oh, it's so easy for her. He's got it. So, but I actually don't know what's going on over there, you know? And we all live these crazy curated lives where everything is perfect on Instagram and perfect on Facebook. And I think it's kind of cool that we get to have a place where we're telling truth, like not sugarcoating it on Facebook in a social platform.
Special.
Who else?
Agatha asks.
Oh, again. Thanks, Agatha.
Killing it.
Got 2 questions back to back.
We love you.
She asks, what's the biggest lesson y'all learned from the show?
I mean, I think it's back to touching on kind of what you guys were saying. It's like, you know, we live a life full of assumptions, but I think the funny thing about human beings is our lives are a bunch of parallels. You know what I mean? They're parallels in different rivers, essentially. And I think what I really learned about
It was good.
No,
It was
no,
good.
what
Take
I-
a moment. Take a
what I
moment.
think
If I were Oprah, I would say that's a tweetable moment. But I'm not.
No, but
still
what I love so much about the show and what I really learned is it does show it's like, you know, problems show their face in different ways, and you were saying how people react to it, right? And so I think the biggest thing about this show taught me is like, you know, you're never truly alone because there's someone else that feels lonely too. You know what I mean? And when you
Right.
realize
And-
that,
and
you know what I
that
mean?
itself means
Yeah,
you're
and
not alone.
yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
there's like some accompany to that. And this show really taught me that because I started the show after like a recently bad time in my life, and it really helped me. Like even with the character, like even through Alex, like you know his character, he has a lot of rage, and he has a lot going on in him, and even you know. Though he doesn't want to accept it yet, you know what I mean? Jonathan even shows like, look, we've all been there, we all understand, and like, I guess this show and a big thing just taught me like to really try to live without assumptions because like touching on what Hayley said, like you know, like if you live a life without assumptions, I feel like you look at human beings consciously and just physically as like we're all in here like trying to help each other. You know what I mean? And that's what I really took from the show. Yeah.
Yeah, and that goes back on the legacy that the show is already leaving because on More Than 5 Points, even on Twitter, everything, Instagram, the conversations that are being had
so cool.
already so deep and thoughtful.
So cool.
And people are already saying, you know, I identify with CJ, Lexi, Alex, Jonathan, all these different characters, and it just shows, you know, everybody comes from different walks of life. If you disagree with this person's decisions, somebody may be in that same exact position.
So I think there's also something else that a lot of you guys learned because I also watched you, you know, from where I was sitting. I feel like you guys also had an extraordinary responsibility of telling this story from all these different perspectives and having to do these massive performances in very few takes and with very little time. And so I feel like you also learned kind of how to get it done, and like the stakes were so high, and I feel like I watched each of you step into telling the story and doing your job in not the easiest conditions. And I don't know, my assumption, which I shouldn't make, but my thought was that maybe you guys also learned stuff as actors, like that you were tested. It seemed like, and you all rose to the occasion.
Very much so. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Everyone killed it.
Hayley and I had our a real love interest moment at my house, and it was like 2 takes, and it was just like, this is like us setting up our relationship. Like,
Very important.
Better get it. Better get it.
Yeah. And it was definitely
I was blown away by everyone on set. I mean, we all had such a great time, like in between takes, and we're all laughing and stuff, and like loved hanging out. But we also knew how important the show was and how important the stories were. We really wanted to do the characters and the writing justice. And I mean, just watching like even all of the reactions, like all the episode 10, like emotions for everyone, like just watching like Jake and everyone do those takes, like 2 takes, the sun is setting. We're like, okay, we have like 30 minutes left in the day. Like we're getting it. Jake's like screaming in the car. I'm like, I'm crying because it's all so good. And I'm just like, everything's so good. Like I was just like so blown away. No, like it's just a lot. You're like, there's no time to pee. No, like we're literally gonna go. Like
Use it. You use it.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone just killed
So
it.
Joe asks, if you could choose to change character roles, which one would you pick?
Like switch up roles.
You would want to be
What's up?
Wallace?
Yeah.
What's up?
If I could be Jonathan, I would.
You would.
I was gonna say Tosh. So
I was gonna
What's up?
say.
Freaky Friday, let's go.
His body.
I think Jonathan's just like so like heartwarming. Just like I just wish I had a Jonathan.
And
in my life.
badass too.
Yeah.
Yo, hey.
Like a die-hard friend.
Good.
Yeah, I would love to be
I
Jonathan.
think Alex.
Woo!
I feel like his character, that's so complex and
Yeah.
difficult,
Mhm.
and like there was so much emotion going on with his character. Probably just because Jake played it, but like it's also fun to kind of be a bully.
A little bit.
It was
A little
yeah.
bit.
Like that would be fun.
Yeah.
Nobody said you.
It's fine.
No one can touch that role. I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to
I
take
just
that
wanted
role.
to point that out. I just wanted to point
I would
that
not want
out.
to take that role from him. You're just perfect.
At NM130610.
Nice.
Oh, are we pronouncing that right?
Accent on the zero. First zero. Cyril. If you could give any advice to young actors, what would you say to them? What I love most about this is I'm always the old one in the room, but right now you guys are old and you have to give advice to young
That is
actors.
weird. I'm like,
I know.
yo, if you have something, tell me.
No. Other young actors.
No, I think, the biggest thing, and I was literally just talking to my friend about this, I feel like we live in an industry, specifically with acting, a huge thing is what's next, right?
oh, man.
Right? And it's like, I feel like people on the steps to success, like, disregard what they've achieved.
I agree.
And that is such a big thing. It's like, I think as an actor, it's like, every project, everything you do, everything you're doing to become where you want to be is amazing in itself. The fact that you're taking these steps and these leaps to do it is so much, and I feel like people just like throw that away. They get so caught up in like, what's this next step for me? It's like, you really have to appreciate what you've done. And you know, and like once you start to accept that, I feel like as an actor and like just, you know, as a professional in general, it just moves you that much more forward because you can just get too caught up in it. And that's a big piece of advice I wish when I was younger going into it, I would have known, because I just got so caught up, and it's like when
It's
you
such
realize,
a trigger, right? When
oh,
people
it's such
say
a
what's
trigger.
next. Even
Yeah.
still.
Yo,
I mean,
still.
As we finished like 7 seasons of
You're
TV
right,
show, and everybody's like, what next? I'm like, who cares? What do you mean?
And now she's going to Broadway, so she answered your question.
But by the
Thank
way,
you.
like I don't even want to. Even when I know what I'm doing next, I'm like, why can't we just talk about what I did?
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard.
Yeah, it's
I also, I've watched a lot of interviews, and there was this interview with J.J. Abrams, and he was given the same question, like, what kind of advice does he have for younger directors? And he said, well, when I grew up and I wanted to make movies, it was a little bit harder, you know, and the technology wasn't caught up, and if you wanted to make a movie, there were so many things that you had to do, so many
Like
so many
hoops to jump
obstacles.
through, yeah.
And now everyone has an iPhone that shoots at 1080. So just go make a movie, you know? And I think that knowledge can also switch into acting.
agree.
Like, not only is acting something that you can do with literally nothing, like you could be in your room acting. It's something that you can. It's all you need is a story, and if you want, you can go pick up a play and just rehearse that for
Get
for
in a
no
good
reason.
scene study class.
Yeah, no reason other than just to sharpen your tools. You know, like just
Yeah.
to constantly being productive. I think that was something that I needed to realize, and since I've started writing a little bit more to do a short film. I'm doing a short with Nate, and yeah, I think it's just try to be productive as much as you can. I've been staring at a TV, and there's a camera right there. Anyways, yes.
For the live.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, because I think also if you're creating your own material and getting out there and affirming the idea that you're not an actor because somebody pays you, you're an actor because you're doing it, then when people ask you what's next, it's not as much of a trigger.
Yeah.
I think to add on top of that is like like to not allow the stereotypes to discourage you into pursuing your dreams. And like if you haven't seen a role being played by someone that looks like you, be that person.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's good.
And be the first, and don't take no for an answer. I think all of us have experienced that. Like, you can't take no for an answer, and if one person says no, another person will say yes. And it goes with what Ray was saying. If you're getting into a roadblock, then just make it yourself and show people that you can change those stereotypes and have that representation.
So good.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna play some clips from the season. Now that we've completed the entire season and it's all up, we're gonna play some clips because we won't have spoilers, and we're gonna get your guys' take on what it was like to film the scenes.
Cool.
Okay.
one drop at a time, TJ.
Why are you stalking me, CJ?
Why do you hide behind so much eyeliner?
Maybe I like eyeliner.
Maybe I like you.
The best part about this whole scene is I was in the background just staring at him the whole time. And then at the end of the scene, you just see me in the background and like I'm staring at. But I was sitting there the whole scene. I was just watching both of them have their scene.
Yay.
That was my favorite part.
Yeah, that was pretty great.
You're biased, but okay.
This was also our audition scene.
It
or
was,
at
and the
least
audition was really good.
It
It was.
And then we had to do it like a chemistry read together and do this like a million more times. So by the time we got on set, we were just like, let's just do it. Let's just let's get back into it.
Yeah.
And that was really fun. Yeah, that was my experience with it. It was just awesome.
Yeah, I mean, same goes with what Nate said. I could feel him staring at me.
That's all I was doing.
Quite distracting, to be honest.
Love it.
Okay, and the next one. Should we do the next one? Okay.
You know what? There actually is something I want to say. I want to say thank you for doing me the biggest favor of my life. Because earlier, when I said you were nothing like your dad, I lied. You're exactly like him. Exactly. And you're gonna end up poor and pathetic just like him too. So thanks for not wasting another second of my life.
Do you know how hard it is to be mean to that face? It's so sad.
So cold.
Yeah.
Who was the bully on the show?
Yeah.
What?
Josh is one of them.
Hey.
Josh is
Listen,
definitely
listen. Hurt people hurt people. That's one of the, that's
Yes.
one of the
True.
themes. Hurt people hurt people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yo,
Yeah.
What was it like? What was it like?
That scene was kind of crazy just because the verbal abuse that was like being put on me. It's like
shots at your dad.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
she was shooting at my dad. She didn't care.
Yeah,
Like no
the medic was
cap,
there
none
with
of
burn
that. I
ointment
mean, she just
after every take.
it was like this was Eric's like last straw, and it's just like everything that Eric Harper was dealing with at this point in the show. I feel like this just was like adding gasoline to the fire
Yeah.
already.
I
So
wanted-
I'm
I wanted to make it severe because after she doesn't know.
No,
She
it's
doesn't.
true.
She doesn't know what she's
Yeah.
sending him off to do, and then
Yeah.
obviously she feels so guilty after that happens. Like you never want those to be your last words to someone that you cared about. Like they broke up that day. Like that's not what she would have wanted to go out on.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make it harsh because that's why she was hurting so deeply afterwards. Like she really regretted that.
I think also it speaks to the responsibility of intimacy. Like when you know somebody so well, you know what's going to hurt them more than anything. Yeah,
The ones that love you the most.
that's right.
can
Yeah,
hurt you the most.
yeah. So I think that also it was a really important example of us to see of how that trust can go wrong when you give somebody all of your insecurities if it's used against you. Yeah, yeah.
I love that
Yeah.
scene though.
Yeah. Next clip.
So I'm trying to move over.
You can't change who you are, Alex. No matter how hard you may try.
You say that again, I swear to God, I'll pound you in the next week.
Just the thought of it, and I'm both aroused and wildly intrigued.
Bro, I gotta say, I really loved working with you, Jake. Like for real.
It's fun.
Man, just and that scene was also one of my audition scenes. But doing it with you, man, and Jake was probably one of the people I hung out with outside of set because he lived so close to me.
Yeah.
And so when we got to do that scene on set, I already felt the connection, man. It was really dope.
Well, you know, and it's so funny too, playing this guy that's just so like he's just so mad at the world because he's so mad at himself. You know what I mean? And like, and it's just so funny because it's like you said, we were short notice. You had to pop in there and pop in the character, and it's just. One of my favorite thing about those scenes is like I'm fighting everything inside of me because I love this guy to death. I'm fighting like everything inside of me not to just like break and just like start dying because it's so good. And his reactions are so funny, man.
I think that goes out to the writing too. Adam, man, it's just I thought for sure I was gonna break maybe at least once, but as soon as we start the scene,
you're in it.
We're in the scene.
Yeah,
and,
man.
Woo, the writing is so good.
Yeah.
I just
I also think it's important that everybody keeps talking about it being their audition scenes because going back to another question about advice to young actors, I think a lot of times we can be resistant to auditioning, and even our teams, like agents and managers, will act like auditioning is a bad thing. Like it's somehow a batch of pride when you're able to go into a room without auditioning. But the truth is, I have always learned so much as an actor from auditioning. And auditioning, if I can look at it as like an opportunity to be blessed what I love to do for 15 and 20 minutes, not as like result oriented, like I have to get this job, but rather I'm gonna walk into this room and I'm gonna give you my take, and it's either gonna help you know what you need or even help you know what you don't need. Like when I can go in with that level of detachment, it really is fun as an actor, you know, and I would encourage people to embrace the auditioning process and know that you're going to hear no a lot, you're going to hear yes sometimes, and to just enjoy the adventure of it and to use it as a learning opportunity, like a scene study class, you know.
Yeah, that's real hard.
It is. It is.
But
It is. But you know what's harder? To me, what's harder is going into the room like with a desperation and feeling like the only way that an audition goes well is if I get the part. Because the truth is, even now, especially sitting on the producer side, there are lots of auditions that are really great, and it doesn't mean you get the role because you may be like not the right height, or we might need something else. We might need somebody who lives in a different city, or there's so many factors. You can do such a great job in a room, and for you to walk away from every job you don't get feeling like it was a failure is not kind to yourself.
Right, yeah.
You know?
Can't look at it like that.
Yeah.
You got one more clip.
Okay.
All right.
You thinking about auditioning?
No. Why are you? We could definitely use the bodies.
No. I do the sound and the lights. I helped out last year. Jonathan's friend?
Yeah. Sorry. We have chemistry, right?
Well, I like to think so.
It's one of my favorite lines in the whole series.
Here's the funny thing, because
cutie.
thank you. No, because this was my audition scene too.
See, wow,
It was
look
so
at
funny
that.
because when I auditioned for it, I really played the comedy side of the whole scene. Not knowing what the rest of the story was about, I just thought that moment was so sweet, and it resonated so much with me because I'm like, I like this girl and I can't tell her, but I'm trying my best, you know? And it was just so funny to me. And then when it turned out that the script was not super dramatic, but it had its light parts. This scene was such a beacon to me because like there's so much going on with this drama that it needed a little comedy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, so sweet.
It was so hard for me because Nate is just so cute. I like had to like and that he wasn't. And
But he is.
What was right in front of my eyes.
He's full on blushing.
Cute.
How about that moment where you have the backpack on and you turn the corner and hit your hip on the desk or something?
So cute. It's so good.
natural.
So good. Okay, all right, we're gonna play a game now. This is called the Superlative game. It's like high school superlatives. So we have these boards that say most likely to be. You know what it says? Old time, like in the old yearbooks, where it would be like most likely to succeed, most likely to be prom queen, or be in Fortune magazine. I don't know. So we are going to pull a name out of a jar. Spence, you're pulling out, right? I mean,
Whoa,
you're
hey,
pulling a name out of a jar.
yeah.
And hey now, everyone. And we're going to fill in the blank. Facebook's dying. We're gonna fill in the blank on the superlative game. We didn't curse. We didn't curse at all. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what are we writing?
You're writing. You're going. So he's gonna pull a name out of the jar, and we're gonna decide what that person is most likely to be.
So we can say, and we can pick any.
Yes,
Okay.
but our friends at Facebook would like you to keep it
Oh,
relatively
for
clean.
sure. For sure, yeah.
Relatively.
Yeah, for sure. No. That didn't even enter my head.
Okay.
No.
All right, so the first person is a boy Nate.
Do I write for myself?
Yep.
That was so fast. Like, yes, you do, buddy.
Wait, it's Spence. Is that Spence?
It's Nate.
Oh.
Stop. Bro, I'm more embarrassed to show people my handwriting.
Okay. Everybody ready? And then what do? We show it to camera. Okay, and then we read them.
Wait, guys.
Oh my
This
gosh.
is your best friend.
Yeah, that's why the pressure's on.
Sorry, he's like, what do I
High
make
school,
it something
doesn't
good?
it?
No.
Okay, beautiful. Beautiful.
I'm playing too, you know.
Okay,
Forward, honey.
then you go first.
I'm supposed to write most likely to and then I fill in the blank.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Okay, I wrote Nate is most likely to have the best eye.
Oh.
I said that too.
Oh, voted best eyes.
Wow.
You do love him.
I want to go last.
I said most
If you said
likely
eyes.
to be a cutie.
Oh, to be a cutie.
I put beautiful.
Okay, I don't like my answer. I said most likely to be a club promoter. He just has that like he's so like charismatic, and he'll be like, come to the club.
Yo, come join this club I'm in, bro.
Oh man.
I
Spot tonight, so
put most fashionable because he always says great things.
Hey,
Okay.
Real talk.
I put most likely to be blushing, which is happening right now.
I put most likely to be picked first in this game.
Well done. Well done.
He
well
wrote it
done.
before he picked
Well
it.
done.
Crazy.
That was so fun. Let's do another one.
We got another one, Miss
I got
Kiyoko. It's so the next one is
Yes.
Mr. Curtis.
Woo woo!
Oh.
I'm about to
Hey.
write something personal.
Hey.
Put your life out there.
Yeah, that's how you
Jake's
start.
really focusing over there. This is fun for me because I get to watch all of y'all like process.
Yo,
We're a bunch of actors.
it's really hard
Time's
for
up.
yourself.
Let's go.
Oh, great. Okay.
All right. Yo, I just saw what he wrote for himself. That's so good.
All right.
Here goes.
I put most likely to be best rapper.
All right.
Oh.
I put most likely to be an EGOT winner.
No way, that's what I put.
Are you kidding?
I'm serious.
Man, y'all gotta stop, man. This is beautiful.
What's EGOT?
I don't know.
Grammy,
Emmy,
Grammy,
Grammy, Oscar,
Grammy
Tony.
winner.
Y'all feel that way?
You gotta.
Dude,
Aw.
you're talking
So
so many
nice.
ways.
So
Thanks.
sweet.
I said most likely to be a meme.
Oh, that's nice.
Appreciate it, bro.
He keeps you humble.
Appreciate
We
it, bro.
gas you up. He keeps you humble.
No, keep it humble.
Right.
No, right. Right.
He's just
Nothing.
What'd you say?
He wrote EGOT. 'cause he likes- After asking what's an EGOT, he then writes EGOT.
Yo, none of you guys put periods in betwing. Why is it? It's an
Bro, 'cause
abbreviation.
everybody knows.
No.
Not everybody.
It's okay. It's
I
okay.
put most likely to be or not to be swaggy.
Hey!
I feel you, bro.
That's Drake. Why not? Why
I
not?
said selling platinum records.
Oh.
What'd you
Man, now
I actually
don't-
put gold and then crossed it out and put
Haley?
platinum because I was like, gold is
I
not
don't
enough.
even want to show what I put because it makes me seem. I put dope, but the thing I didn't know y'all gonna be so sweet. So I mean, that's thanks, guys. Anyway,
You're just reassuring. You know what I mean?
All right, y'all got the next one real quick. Oh, Miss Carrie got one. Okay, Carrie. Carrie.
That's not good.
That's not good.
Skip that.
Oh, man.
As soon as I knew we were playing this game, I had an answer in my head, but like I don't know if I want to put it now.
Well, now you have to.
All right. I don't know if I know how to spell it though.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
There's so many things I could say.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know.
I need help. I need help. I need help.
No cheating.
that's all you
I feel like mine's too simple.
need. What? Oh.
Okay. Okay.
5 seconds.
Ugh,
Here we go.
ugh.
Most likely to pray.
I know. That's what I'm like, but I'm just going to say that since everybody already said it.
There we go.
Oh, we got an answer.
What?
Quick with it.
Oh,
What is it?
that's
What
cute.
you put?
Best actress, yeah.
Best actress.
Oh.
Aw.
Facts.
I
Yeah.
put most glowing because you literally glow. Like,
You
look
do
at
do
her
that.
like collarbones
That's
and
that
shoulders
Neutrogena.
and highlight. Like,
That's
no,
it.
that's
Yes.
that
Well
Neutrogena
done.
right there.
Well done.
I've been paying attention.
Bro, you ain't not about to plug no
Neutrogena.
Neutrogena, bro.
I got you.
You for real?
I got you.
All right, I'm excited now. I need a skincare product, dog.
Hey, Neutrogena.
We got you. We got you.
Shouts out.
Well,
skin is
I'll
I
hook you
said
up.
most likely be the GOAT. Already is. Wait,
dude,
here's your
that-
here's your
Here's
period.
your-
That's not me. That's pretty great one.
Greatest of all time.
Thank you.
I put most likely to be fangirling over Melrose Place.
So,
That's not right. That's not right. We were supposed to put that behind us. That's wrong.
Yeah.
I said most likely to be in a Tarantino movie.
That's true. Well, that's for now. I think there's some folks in here who might be making
Most
those
likely be
rounds.
mentioned in a rap song as well.
Hey!
Quite a couple of them. Hey.
Haley.
I wrote best hugs.
Oh my gosh.
I love
Most likely to
you.
be best hug.
I love you. I put most likely to be praying somewhere. Praying.
Oh, I got the
Next.
I got the next one. Okay, y'all.
Next.
So now we got Mr. Jake.
Oh god.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my goodness.
I'm all about cheating off of yours.
What do I write?
I know what you're already saying, right?
Oh God.
What? My seconds don't. I didn't write anything.
It's timers. Jeez.
I don't.
Done.
All right, give me some.
I already
Am I
know.
going?
I'll go first. I put
What?
I put most likely to be your third cousin.
Oh,
Wow.
is that offensive?
Do I
No, wait. Is it offensive?
Do I need to go on Ancestry.com?
No, because I feel like he would just be like related to you in some way.
Because he feels like family.
Yeah, he feels like
Okay, I'm
family.
gonna help you out with that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jake, I put most likely to be best singer.
Oh,
I put most likely to perform at Coachella. I know Hayley already did, but I feel like
After Hayley. Yeah.
I put most likely to be singing at the top of his lungs at 6 a.m.
that happened.
That happened on set. I was trying to take
Oh,
it, but it's
I
okay.
didn't know. I didn't know.
He brought his guitar to like concerts in the mornings and bass camp.
Oh.
I put
This is gonna be like a 5 points band.
I know.
Oh, and platinum.
most likely to be a vampire.
Hey now.
Oh,
Hey now. Hey now.
but like a
Gonna
cute
get my
singing
cross
one
out.
Oh, like Edward.
at Coachella, like you know.
Okay.
Most likely to be slightly above average.
Aw. That's cute. I just like that's a good name for our band. But I just put most likely to be sharing wisdom. 'Cause I feel like you're always like sharing from your heart.
Thank you so much.
You are.
Okay, so
Dang.
the next one is
Spitting.
Hold on, wait,
Ray.
I'm sorry.
Oh, what do you do?
I just finished it.
Nate,
Most likely
are
to be
you ready?
chasing you.
Hey.
It was 5 points. Yo, if you guys
Yeah,
haven't
you
seen
should-
it,
you
all,
guys
you
should
should
go watch
watch
that
it.
show.
Yeah.
Watch
Bit of a
it.
spoiler.
It was a 5-point
They
play.
run.
Spoiler.
The next one is Ray.
Oh, here we go.
What are you gonna write? What are you gonna write?
I don't know.
I got this one real quick.
Same.
That
Uh-oh.
scares
That's
me.
not a D.
I wrote most likely to be confused.
Yes.
I put most likely
In
to
the
be
bag. In the bag.
In the back. Well done. Well played.
best breakdancer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw some video of you, bro.
It's crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Mostly.
You're insane.
Thank you so much.
That's why they call him Prodigy.
I said most likely to have a movie at Sundance. And I mean one that he like produced or directed or something because I could see that.
That's nice.
Okay, so listen, I gotta add some words, but listen, most likely to be the one to beat your BF in a dance battle.
Nice.
Bro, that's your boyfriend.
That's your boyfriend.
You
That's
mostly
your
didn't
boyfriend.
beat your man.
Most likely to be not about it.
Not about it. Most likely to reference every movie and television show.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
dang.
Facts.
He knows it
Yeah,
all.
real
I
true.
put most likely to be innovating on
Oh.
screen. Doing it new.
Whoa,
Doing it your
nice.
own way.
Nice.
Hey, you hear that?
There I go.
Y'all got some good
I
juices
just-
going
Oh,
on
like
with
for-
this.
What did he say? He
I
said,
just wrote most likely to be almost halfway making it.
Yeah. Yeah, baby.
Ooh, the next one's Madison.
Oh, here we go.
Oh.
I'm gonna write for myself.
All right, I got this one in the bag too.
Same.
Most likely to have the best laugh.
Yes.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
Most likely to be quoting Drake.
Oh my god.
I'm not even mad. I'm not even mad at that.
Oh my god.
Most likely to marry Drake.
I'm not mad at
hey,
anything
hey.
that's being said right now.
Most likely to be Kiki.
Most
You
likely
guys,
to be
I know you guys
Kiki.
surprised. Spoiler alert. He is thinking about me. I know it's crazy.
Oh, man.
Most likely to be wearing off-white J's.
Oh.
That's swag. That's swag.
That's-
Okay. So listen, I don't have an answer. But listen, I was gonna say most likely to be the one to quote the NBA or like, you know, just say some stats.
I can definitely pull up some stats. I put most likely to be laughing at everything because I do like to laugh a lot.
I said most likely to be killing the selfie game.
Hey.
Selfie game is strong.
Selfie game
For
strong.
sure. I put most likely to be the sweetest and live on IG.
Oh,
Yeah.
true.
That's so nice.
Sweetest,
it live?
catch it live.
Guys.
Oh shoot. Okay, so
On
next
the
one
gram.
is me.
You.
Yo, guys, come on. Let's all get this one together. We all know what we're going to write.
No, stop.
Do
Stop.
we?
Don't be.
We do?
Wait, who is it? Who is it?
It's me, Miss Hayley.
I got mine. Most likely to
Okay.
be bad at 2K.
Okay.
Oh,
Jay!
Oh!
Jay, are
Oh,
you
shots fired right now.
Are you really gonna tell everybody? Yeah.
I'm about to.
I wrote most likely to make you feel special.
Oh, very true.
I wrote the kindest boy ever.
Oh.
I was gonna say kind too.
That's what I wanted all of us to be like. The sweetest.
I wrote charmingly not in trouble because
Oh.
he charms his way out of trouble.
I said most likely to remember your name because if he meets you once, he will come up to you and be like, "What's your name again?" I'm not gonna forget it,
Good
and he'll
one.
call you Miss
True.
Kiyoko or Miss Pettis, Miss
True.
Washington. Like it's
You got
adorable.
the last name.
True.
Yeah.
I put most likely to be so darling.
Nice.
Aw.
Darling.
I just wrote
Darling.
the most likely to be the sweetest, kindest, lovable man.
Aw.
I like that one.
Yes.
We all are in love with special.
Yeah.
We have one more.
Well, no, we got Hayley, but I said most likely to be in my feelings.
True.
I think,
True.
yeah,
True.
that's
True.
very true.
True.
Hayley.
True.
And the last one is Miss Kiyoko.
Oh, this is easy.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Yes, true. True. Said most likely to be Mama Bear.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I said most likely to be the best at crafts because you're so good at arts and crafts and it's
Yo,
so fun.
yes.
You like to make gingerbread houses and you like
Oh,
to color me
yes.
mine and it's so sweet.
I love crafts.
Love crafts.
I just said most likely to be way cooler than you.
For sure.
Yeah, nobody else should even respond. That's
Done
it.
and done.
No, drop my.
That's it. Most likely to be taking over the world.
Yes.
Thanks, Gary.
Most likely to be best new artist.
Hey now.
What's up,
Damn it.
baby?
Vote,
Let's go. Vote now. Vote.
Vote, vote, vote.
Most likely to sell out Madison Square Garden.
With the square.
Man.
With the square. I
With the
wrote it
square?
square because I ran out of space.
Love it.
Cute.
Oh, you literally, that's what that was.
Innovative.
I thought that was like a checkbox. Like
Done.
Check
Done.
Done.
Does everybody go?
I just put most likely to be lovable.
Oh.
Thanks,
Truth.
Beth.
You guys, thank you for joining us and for being so supportive of 5 Points. If you have not seen season 1, all of it, you can watch all of the episodes available now, only on Facebook Watch. Come check us out. Join this family. We love you. We'll see you soon.
Yes.
All right.
Guys, we love you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Have a good time.